India probably has the world's largest body of positive discrimination based on underrepresented, disempowered communities who have been historically disempowered for various reasons. And there is also a logical fallacy at play here. So if people are saying India was a scripture-led society, and because this book or this text says so, India must have systemic discrimination, why do they not believe the fact that when we have a constitution with the largest body of positive discrimination, why do they not believe that India exactly follows that constitution and therefore has no discrimination at all today? Do you not think there's a fundamental logical fallacy here?
Completely. And yet it's so straightforward and so obvious when you put it in that way. And yet politician after politician, legislator after legislator, theologian after theologian, historian after historian, academic after academic haven't noticed.
There's also another irony in all of this, isn't there? Because we live in a time when personal self-identity is given center stage. So if a man says he identifies as a woman, everyone's obliged to respect that. Yet we have hundreds of millions of Hindus who don't necessarily identify with the word caste. Yet you have a law being passed that forces them into a caste box. Banerjee, how would you square that circle? Because it seems there's a level of disconnect, almost like a willful hypocrisy even.
Well, I think it is, as I said earlier, malice. This cannot possibly be incompetence. Right? This cannot be a failure to dive into the legal principles at work and not notice these incredible fallacies. And therefore one has to draw a conclusion that this is malicious. And then you enter into the space of the great game and the desire to dominate the world, to commit ethnocide and remove all pagan civilizations. And sadly, we still do have very powerful entities for whom this is their daily mantra. And they certainly have the capacity, wherewithal, and desire to do this. And that is the only conclusion that a logical, reasonable person will come to. It has to be malice. And that is a shocking statement to recognize. It's a position which really warrants that every Hindu, and not only every Hindu, but every member of the formerly colonized world, every member of the First Nations, would do well to sit back and consider the reality of what is still being done. That, I think, is our next step. We really do need to start to articulate our analysis of why this is being done, what the motivations could be. And then perhaps, as the former Archbishop of Canterbury said, he said the wonderful thing about India is that it holds a mirror to us, and it requires us to consider our own flaws and faults. And I think for this, India and certainly the other First Nations are fully justified in holding the biggest mirror possible to the colonizer nations and the colonizer ideologies and saying, this is what we see. Please face this yourselves, address it, deal with it, so that everybody can move forward. But we can't afford to ignore it anymore.
I think I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think it's also useful to remember who in this world, which ideology wants to homogenize the world into a certain system of belief at this point.
Yes, it's. I would say that there are battles of two ideologies who have a history of both ethnocide, whether it's the destruction of the Bamiyan Buddhas or the terrible assault on Hypatia, long, deep histories of desecration of what was sacred and beautiful. And they are still very present and very active.
Indeed.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net.